Okay, we're here at the column today, and this is my first time to interview. Usually I only interview those of Broadway and, of course, of national tour stars. This is my first interview with an actor who is primarily known for his motion pictures. And the gentleman, Mr. Val Kilmer, is one of those rare actors who has not been pigeonholed or stuck in one genre of film. You have been able to really show a vast diversity in your film work. I mean, from wild comedies like Top Secret and Real Genius to, of course, powerful work such as in Tombstone as Doc Holliday, and definitely your mesmerizing performance as Jim Morrison in The Doors. And then, of course, most recent work, which I thoroughly loved, was Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, thanks.
And Willow. I mean, you've done science fiction, of course, Batman. I mean, you've done such a vast repertoire in your catalog of work. So what makes you go into all these different genres?
Well, that was my only really specific plan as an actor. I wanted to challenge myself to try and just be free to explore different kinds of acting. So that's really all I did. I didn't kind of refine a persona in public life like a lot of my contemporaries. That's different than the kind of character persona which also developed. And so a lot of the choices I've made kind of got me off the front office list for those kind of movies, and the business changed at the same time. And I've been working on this play, Mark Twain, called Citizen Twain, for about 3 years, but that came from a film script that I've written about Mark Twain and Mary Baker Eddy.
Wow.
And that was about 10 years I've been working on that.
What?
So what feels, I feel a bit redeemed, because it's been quite a long time since I've made a movie that's gotten that kind of recognition. I've worked with some great people like Francis Coppola and Harmony Korine and Werner Herzog, but they're smaller movies. And just now getting on stage and having the play be received so well has made me feel like I wasn't wasting my time all these years.
Well, the thing that I know that you have such a vast background in film, but you actually debuted on Broadway in 1983 in a play called Slab Boys with Sean Penn and Kevin Bacon. And then.
And where are they now?
Never heard of them. Never heard of them. I don't know. Who knows?
I have an idea though. I started here with the Dallas Film Society in the last fall. They honored me, and I don't know how it started, but I said, why does Kevin Bacon get all the attention with the 6 degrees of separation? So I am developing 3 degrees of validation. We don't need 6, just 3. And it's meaningless. Just, we're sitting here, so you're validated. We're in Texas, so if you're watching, that's a validation. I don't know what you get for the validation, nor do I don't really get what you get for whatever the game is that Kevin Bacon's playing. But it's working for him, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's a household name. And he will probably, I wonder how he feels about it. He's a great guy, by the way, which is why I can challenge him directly. I'm just going to say I'm jealous of Kevin. 2 people you can make fun of, and it's 100%. Betty White and Kevin Bacon. And Betty White, though, I have a bone to pick with Betty.
Why?
She stole my Grammy.
Your Grammy?
She knows what she did.
Oh.
Yeah. I was nominated for a Grammy last year, and she took it. She didn't have enough accolades, or she didn't have enough love. She needs, what, 90 more years of love?
You could have pushed her down the stairs so she would have accepted.
No, I can't make jokes like that because she is elderly.
True. You also did the musical The Ten Commandments.
I did.
And that was of course, a musical. So I mean.
Yeah, I've played Moses 3 times.
Oh, in the animated film, and then.
Yeah, Prince of Egypt. I was very proud that 3 very prominent Jews decided that I was because, you know, first of all, it doesn't matter what Jeffrey Katzenberg and David Geffen and Steven Spielberg ask you to do, you just do it. Yeah, The Devil, I'd love to do that. But they asked me to play Moses. It was their first animated film from DreamWorks.
Well, and because like in the film The Doors, I read then that a lot of the original members of the band and people who have been associated with Jim Morrison, your voice, your singing voice was so impeccable that it sounded, they couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah, couple of the band members I fooled.
And you were able to record one song that they were not able to, am I correct?
Yeah, yeah.
And
that was fun.
So now that you have done this, you know, everything from The Cape Crusader to and another film that I thought you were remarkable in, is really, I mean, I really thought that performance was intense, it was layered, which was Wonderland.
Oh, thanks.
As John Holmes. That was a dark journey, and it was an amazing performance. You really did an incredible work in that film. So you've done all these various characters. So what made you look at Mark Twain and go, let's look at that?
Well, I was looking for a story to write that I could direct as a film, and I finally found a subject between Mark Twain and Mary Baker Eddy that I felt I could remain passionate about and really be devoted to for the years to put it together. And they were both such geniuses and made such unique contributions as writers, and looking at her side of basically what it means to be a woman in America and all of the really extraordinary kind of strengths that she displayed and the challenges that she met. And the same with Mark Twain, being so funny and fluid, seemingly effortless about his struggles. That I found a really exciting story in there about America, one that I felt I had confidence in directing, even though it's a very difficult story. And that's what led me to the play, that I started talking about the movie to business people and talking to friends about the casting, and I suddenly realized that I really needed to devote serious time to being able to play Mark Twain effortlessly, which is quite a challenge. He's a very dynamic guy and very, very funny, and it's been really gratifying to tell a joke and have it be well received.
How do you, because there's, unless I'm not aware of it, but since there's no quote-unquote video or archives of that.
Well, there's film. Edison filmed Edison. Imagine Thomas Edison coming over, getting the tripod out of the Model T. Okay, Sam, you stand over there. Are those your daughters? Okay, they drink some tea and comb her hair. And he walks into the camera like Charlie Chaplin.
What kind of research did you look into to find? Because I know, having read so much about you, that you're one of those actors that really does his research and detail work on your various roles that you have played.
Yeah, I made a joke earlier. We don't have to call it method acting anymore. We can call it Daniel Day-Lewis acting. So I got into my Lewis. I Danieled out today. So it was an old man all day. But I know why he does it. Because of course he's not in character all the time. But if you called me Mr. Twain all day, I'd have a few thoughts that were different and more like Mark Twain, but maybe as importantly, certainly in film and theater, that you would start thinking I was more Mark Twain than earlier in the day. So it's just a way to focus people's attention on a movie set particularly, to have people address you as the character and to stay in the dialect, because there's very little time. You know, you would think Steven Spielberg would be able to design anything he wants, and I'm sure he can have a long schedule, but it's just very expensive to do that, and there's always economic considerations. So it's mainly about economy, but also too, you just want to do the best job you can. And there's a lot when you play these extreme characters like Daniel does so well to remember, a lot to make effortless.
How much of his life do you show on stage? Of he was a humorist, but yet he was also
very little of Daniel Day-Lewis. I want to stay mainly focused on Mark Twain.
I mean, Mark Twain. I meant Mark Twain, not Daniel Day-Lewis.
Actually, that's a funny film. Me playing Daniel Day-Lewis
as Mark Twain.
He's playing somebody else, maybe Oprah.
Oh.
He hasn't done that yet. He hasn't Tyler Perry'd out.
You could win an Oscar. That would be incredible.
He could Meryl Streep. Preparing to play Medea. I like it.
I'd be there opening night. I'd love it.
I could also. No, I won't.
What?
I forgot your question.
Oh, well.
But Mark Twain's funny.
Yes.
And you know why it's important to laugh?
Why?
You don't? That's so sad. You don't know why it's important to laugh? Because laughter brings joy. More joy. The more you laugh, the happier you are. It's really very simple. But we forget.
Yeah, that's true.
I say that because Mark Twain's, this is a spoiler, he's dead. He's dead in the play.
No!
He's dead.
We'll edit that part out.
And I mention that as a playwright, I say, please forgive me if you're having trouble hearing me in the back. I'm dead. But he wrote this way. He wrote, well, now I'm dead, so I'll tell you what I really think. And it's kind of the premise of the story that he's sort of floating around the cosmos and kind of lands here in Dallas or wherever he is and has to find his footing and make his way through and find out what his purpose is for the night. So it's all metaphor about finding your way as a person or as an American in this case.
How much, because you wrote it as well, and it is I think one of the hardest things in theater is one-man shows. I mean,
yeah, I didn't get the full effect when I started off.
How has that journey been for you?
Well, it's really tough. You go a little mad because you just by yourself for so long, and you have to put in that time to really know what your voice is. And now I know it well enough, and what I'm interested in, and what works. Done enough workshops to be able to present it, as a Broadway touring show.
Do you think you'll end up on Broadway?
Yeah. It's such a great thing. There's nothing's a sure bet in the theater or film, but having Hal Holbrook have 60 years of success behind my endeavor is very comforting. I think he was 3 times on Broadway, won a Tony, and nominated for an Emmy. It is mystifying to me. I know him, and I haven't had the courage to ask him yet why he never made a film. Because it would be very interesting. He filmed his play, and that is there for all time for people to enjoy. But that's been a really strong indication that I have something successful. And mine is a more colorful theatrical experience. I've got animation in it, video, and Halley's Comet, and lots of colorful. Actually, Hal's in the history books for having done a play non-consecutively, but more than anyone else, 60 years. In the history of the United States. And mine is a fluke, but I'm the first play to utilize 3D video mapping, which has only been done in the pop world, and one opera and one dance piece that I've come across, but no theater yet. So it's exciting because it's something the audience hasn't seen before.
Yeah. What, when you are with the audience, and of course with live theater, you feed off of how the audience reacts. Yeah. Do you have in the back of your mind certain sections that you will bring in and use that night because that's the kind of audience you have, or do you just stick to what you have already on paper?
It's very gratifying after the show when people have to ask whether parts were improv or not. Because I do. It just it's done in a way, hopefully, where it always seems spontaneous. So yeah, because he's also attempting to represent the character. Mark Twain was always interested wherever he was, so I try to put in jokes and observations that are unique to whatever place I'm in.
Well, since
I tell a story about or it's more a little lecture about Native Americans, and because he's so prolific and funny and insightful about so many topics and subjects that I've cut it way down, so it's just a couple of minutes, but I did the play in North Dakota to 2,000 Indians. So then that was a major piece and about 10 minutes long. And yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
Because Mark Twain was so controversial and definitely was, you know, went to both parties, both Republican and Democrat, and of course, you know how right now our country is such in a political climate. You know, even though the elections are over, there's so much. You know, right now there's the whole. Right now, as we speak, there's the whole discussion of gun control and all that. How do you, with your own personal political beliefs, use Mark Twain's vision, personal opinions?
Well, what I find continually personally inspiring by studying Mark Twain, who in many ways can be seen as an honorary founding father, his love of America, which means a people and the land, of course, but his love is so strong, and it's so without any restriction. He loves the lowest river rat and the highest, greediest industrialist, and is entertained by all of our strange failings. And he has a way of framing ideas where it's easier through humor, or when you're brilliant as he is, to find a way to, you just set at ease a little bit. He reminds us all that life is simpler and more complicated, as the case may be, but it's okay. We're okay. It's great to be from America. We have so many advantages. There's so much to be grateful for. And it's just a really positive message. So there are places and areas that I could be harder hitting, more radical. Maybe the play will develop into that. But right now, I think, you know, listening is such an important activity, and we don't teach it in schools. We're all frustrated by it all day long. If you're in a fast food place or the bank or in line for your theater tickets, people just don't seem to listen or be interested in being present for you, which is manners and grace and a whole lot of qualities. And Twain, clearly, because he just writes about hundreds of different kinds of people, it was what he did most of his life. Obviously a very prolific writer, but where did he get all these voices? He sat down with people and he really listened to their story. I'm going to try it one day. I am. I'm going to listen. Because I'm over 50 now, so maybe when I'm 60.
You're not over 50.
Yeah.
Wow.
You
look much.
I'm going to try that. I'm going to try listening.
Still,
I make people listen. In the play, I have a part where I have it be silent for over a minute. Yeah, it's really nice.
How does the audience react to that?
Well, you know, it's kind of scary. You can sort of feel it. People are a little nervous. You have to hear their own thoughts for a while.
That is a scary thought. Many of our viewers are hardcore theater people, so that's why I asked you a lot of questions about your approach to the acting.
I'm a hardcore theater person too.
I know you were the youngest person with your ascot.
You can see that, right?
I see the ascot. Yeah, very classic.
I will now speak in my normal voice.
In the theater.
Yes.
When you, because you are one of the youngest to ever be accepted at Juilliard.
I was the youngest in the theater department. Certainly there are 3-year-old violinists that are accepted every day, but I was the youngest actor. Now they're doing that more and more. We're high school people right out of high school.
My viewers definitely would kill me if I didn't ask you just a few questions of what were some of your favorite film roles that you have done.
I did enjoy the Doc Holliday in Tombstone. It's a really interesting love story because here's this psychotic who knows he's going to die, and he's mean. I mean, he killed quite a few people. And this one story took place here in Texas. He was a dentist, and a guy that he felt owed him money from a card game came in with an abscessed tooth. So he got him drunk, and I probably put some ether on him, and had him pass out. And when he woke up, he had no teeth.
Oh!
Pulled out all his teeth. So don't mess with Doc Holliday. Yeah, it was a lot of fun doing Tombstone. I liked singing the songs in the Doors, and you know, you mentioned Kiss Kiss Bang Bang with Robert Downey Jr. I just laughed. I don't think I've ever laughed more. He actually, if you watch the blooper reel, he gets mad at me. Do it again, do it again. Like he's got a lot more scenes than I do. He wants to get on with it, and he's just so funny. Like, also, he's really smart. Mm-hmm. It's clear in his roles. He's the right guy to play Charlie Chaplin or Sherlock Holmes. But in this movie we did together, it's kind of dumb. So just to see him have to have that face, and just to be able to tell him to shut up, I think 30 or 40 times. I never added it up, but I think it's about 40 times. I just shut up. It was very, very satisfying, and they had to shut up too. It was a fun role.
That is really.
And Michelle Monaghan was great. Yeah, obviously they don't feel the same way, Shane Black and Downey, because they just worked together in a surefire, gigantic blockbuster, and didn't invite me. That was what's it called? Iron Lady? No, that's Margaret Thatcher.
That's Margaret Thatcher.
Iron
Board?
Fist? Iron Person.
Person.
Iron Man.
Ah, there we go. Yes.
Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man, I've read, and Shane Black wrote and directed that. I'm so happy for them. Aren't you?
Well, sure, I guess. But you were Batman. So.
They could just pay me, they wouldn't even notice. Right?
Well, not unless if you sang.
Mickey Rourke, they pay. I want my bird. They paid Mickey. How long did that take with the tattoos and the different dyed hairs? A long time, I bet. Was that the first one or the second one? Second one.
Second one.
Yeah. And now another foreigner.
Oh, God, I can't remember his name.
Sir Ben Kinsley.
Yeah, that's right.
You've got to say, sir.
Sir, yes.
You do.
Sir. What's next for you, film-wise?
I'd like to play Sir Ben Kinsley.
Playing Daniel Day-Lewis.
Maybe Daniel's gonna do a prequel to Gandhi that I could play Daniel, preparing to play Gandhi, produced by Oprah, and do a Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry.
Let's play them all.
But would the Mark Twain part fit in there?
Doesn't matter. Just mention it all the time. Like Gandhi just quotes him all day.
Or maybe wears a T-shirt with his on his.
That would be funny though. Gandhi just howling, like reading Twain quotes. This is funny. This is very funny. That would be good, wouldn't it?
Well, I think
all bald and spiritual, just like drooling with laughter.
Well, I think that should be your next project.
Something like that. A crowd pleaser.
I think we hit
a solid
box office Oscar-winning hit.
That's what I'm after.
Well, Val, I appreciate so much taking time,
Thank
and you will be here at the Wiley from April 18th to the 21st.
Yes, at least.
And then where do you go? Will you take the show to another?
Yes, I don't know where next. I think we have a couple of options, but then in Los Angeles from the end of June at the Kirk Douglas Theater to the end of July for a whole month, and
Wow.
then maybe the Pasadena Playhouse in August.
And you're still working on it as you go through
Yes.
the city.
I'm working on it right now.
Wow.
I mean, right now.
As I speak. Do you need pen or paper? Or?
No. That was good.
Oh,
Thank you very
thank
much.
you, Val. I
Right.
appreciate it. Thank you, guys.